Hello, what's up, everybody? What's up? It's Donnie Crashbones. Welcome to Everyone from Most Likely. Today we have a special guest, my buddy and good old noise pal, Zach of Necroviolence and various other projects. I think this is gonna work. Hey, there we go.
What up?
How's it going? Hey.
Oh, it's going all right. I've just mostly been cleaning up my apartment and whatnot. You
Oh man.
know, adult shit.
Adult shit, fucking life, just coming with like responsibilities. But anyway, the show must go on. Thank you for coming onto the show, man. It's really a big pleasure.
Of course.
Well, about I've been really checking your music out for a bit for like a nice hot minute and stuff, and we started connecting and stuff. A lot of things I've been noticing about your taste and the stuff you put into your music. You make really cool noise. You make noise feel like it's like black metal and noise like combusted together without the drums and guitar. That's what I like about Necroviolence.
Yeah, like channeling that like black metal like headspace or spirit or whatever you want to call it,
Good.
but it's still like noise.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. For the things like that have came into like necroviolence, was there anything that came before? Since like you have other various projects, did you have anything in the past that you might have made and that like didn't like work to your tasting, and you just found like you wanted to branch out something different?
Well, my very first like actual band where it wasn't just me like dinking around, it was with a friend of mine named Greg. We had this little black metal slash industrial duo called Atrax Hex. And, and Greg was the one that was handling the pedals and shit, and I was just the vocalist. I, I have a CD of our live compilation from like way back in the day on some fucking black metal label that I forgot what their name is.
I mean, they're probably like the community is really like it's an up and down type of community. They're either a bunch of either racist people
Oh
or they're
yeah,
just total like
pretentious. Like, oh my metal's better than yours.
like talking about mayhem, saying oh like mayhem still like is better than it is. Like, dude, there's always room for more. There's always room
Yeah,
for
literally.
um how but what is your music journey like? What did you start listening to growing up, and yeah, since it got into this, to like the place of noise where it's just like that's like the last place ever
Right,
on the
yeah. Yeah, it's like at the bottom of the cave.
yeah. Start with.
Um, well, there's a specific album that I've been listening to since I was a little kid. It was the soundtrack to the Xbox game Jet Set Radio Future.
Okay.
And that soundtrack had like a bunch of crazy like Japanese like experimental and like punk and shit like that. The game was awesome, but the soundtrack was greater. That soundtrack kind of eased my ear into like the more experimental and like kind of out there sounds.
Yeah, it's really like how it kind of comes about, like from noise. Like I've been like learning it a lot, from not just listening to a lot of American and other stuff, but like it was all Japan that started it all,
Oh
kind
hell
of.
yeah.
Uh, Literally people like hopped on and shit like that. But was it always noise? Did you, or were you were was there something before noise you were listening to that you were like, and do like it's either can be embarrassing or not, it's up It's like that.
No, it's all right. I was like balls deep in the black metal for like a few years. I was a black metal nerd.
Yeah.
I was one of those guys.
I know a lot of those guys.
Right.
Um, yeah, Dimmu Borgir, then you have like, I don't know what else on top tip of my tongue right now, but uh yeah, definitely know a lot of black metal. I've kind of had a time I was like listening to just like black metal for a long time and then just listen to grindcore, then maybe like a little bit of gore grind here and there. Then some
Yeah.
like
Like for me, like what kind of bridged me to noise was, when I was like a teenager, I'd listen to the classic black metal shit. Then when I was like in my early 20s, I started listening to the more intense, like harsh kind of black metal, like war metal and all that shit. And then eventually, like, it wasn't harsh enough for me. I needed something that would give me greater catharsis. And then I found noise, and I was like, holy fucking shit. Like, this is what I've been looking for.
it's not for everyone, but as I say on
Oh yeah, it's like the definition of a acquired taste.
yes, um yeah, no, literally, there's a various amount of great artists out there and such. Like you can find them on Bandcamp, find them on a bunch of other stuff, if you search enough. What was your very first introduction into noise, and who are you listening to?
Uh, Basically, it was through my cousin Knox. Uh, he's my I think he's my mom's cousin, so like we're still cousins, but like first cousins or something. But yeah, he turned me on to like Hunting Lodge and like old Throbbing Gristle tapes, and I was like, yeah, this is awesome. Then I just kind of went through the rabbit hole through there.
Yeah, so yeah, it's like today, like I think we've been having a lot of like noise has started to become a cliche and a little bit of a like kind of a like a thing. Like body war was like shown on fucking a bunch of news stuff for a bit.
Yeah,
Shout out to and yeah, it is just I was talking to him on that podcast and stuff, and I was just like, and he told me, he's like, yeah, I'm in body war. I'm like, oh my gosh, so it's that's you. So it's just like I've been noticing people just like shitting on everybody's like on the freedom of expression,
yeah.
and it's just laughing at them and the taste they have and the shit and their messages that in the music they listen to. It's just like it's a big fucking mind crank and stuff.
Yeah, sometimes it seems like they want to do it just to say they've done it.
Yeah.
Like they'll dabble in noise for a little bit, like, oh, blah, blah, blah.
What type of topics have do you write in with such projects like you're in Street Rats, like your punk project, and which is very different from all your other noise projects.
Yeah, I play real instruments. Yeah, I play bass in this sludgy hardcore band called Street Rats. And we last year, mostly during the summer, we kind of toured around Minnesota, like playing at like different bars, and like there was this one show where we played in a literal barn, like in the country, and like the stage was like at the entrance of the barn, and then everyone else was in there. That was interesting.
um, what kind of music would you guys write about, and what are like the most of the topics are in your guy in Street Rats, and what's it's different between Necroviolence and Street Rats. What are you kind of writing?
Well, the Street Rats motto is pretty much life in the gutter music. Like it's pretty dark and like talking about like mental health and like the curse of your mind, the like how your mind can be a curse sometimes. Like we have a song called "Physically In, Mentally Out," so like shit like that. Just kind of like just gnarly, like in your face, like just like screaming your head off.
Yeah. Like I'm thinking of like a little bit of is it like a faster pace I hate God? I don't know.
Yeah,
That's
that's not the first time someone has told us we sound like I hate God.
yeah.
And I'm all for that. I fucking love I hate God.
There's a lot of shit that has happened in metal that's been really embarrassing and stuff like that. Pesticide, I think that was like one of the bands
Oh,
that's been
their AI art shit?
that's the dumbest fucking shit I've been seeing.
Yeah, I saw that.
Um, let's talk about necroviolence. When did you start this whole journey with necroviolence?
So it was in about 2019, right before the pandemic hit. I had this project called 1940s Nihilist. And basically, what that project was, it was my very first, like, venture into noise making, like, before I was just, like, a black metal vocalist. But, 1940s Nihilist was done on this app, this phone app called Noise Machine, and also I had this like giant like keyboard piano, and I'd switch it to like sound effects for the keys, so I'd like play the keys on the keyboard, and it's all a bunch of different sounds and stuff. But the thing about that is that most of the 1940s nihilist stuff is like gone forever from when my first YouTube channel got terminated.
Oh, I just fucking I hate it when that fucking happens to most of like the good
Right.
on there.
Like there's still quite a few tracks that were uploaded in video form on the old 1940s nihilist Facebook page, and I'm actually gonna try to make a comp of all that surviving 1940s nihilist material.
I think I might have not heard. No, I don't think I've heard that one, but I've heard a couple of the things that you have sent me. Um,
Yeah.
the gay death split, I fucking really
Oh yeah.
received fucking. That's literally like fucking really cool with how gay death is doing with deathbeds and shit like that, and you've gotten to do some stuff with deathbeds. It's like
Yeah, and the bonus dark.
yeah, fucking being surrounded by a lot of really legendary fucking like artists. I like A-Trax, Morg, and also X Electronics. Fucking who else? Fucking it's crazy how this like harsh noise has kind of been becoming more known, but
Yeah, like it's starting to get more exposure, and like
but
the normies are finding out.
it's scary.
Yeah, it is.
Um, but yeah, from writing, but with necro violence, what are the kind of topics and what kind of things do you talking to on these albums? Like is everything a different topic, or is everything like something personal?
In the beginning, my first few Necroviolence albums were very personal. Like, I was in a really horrible spot mentally. I was like deranged, angry, and like I think it reflects on like my first few albums. It's just like raw hatred. Like, I've definitely toned down a little bit. At least like mentally, like I'm okay with life right now, but back then I was kind of a wreck. but that's why I like those albums are so personal to me because I'm just like pouring my mind and soul into these like horrible sounds to try to create a sound that I can only hear in my head.
Yeah, that's it's a good way like to put it. There's a lot of definitions of how to create noise and stuff, and it's really good. Like, yeah, that's right. It is musical therapy. It can be therapy. It can be
Yeah.
for a lot of people. Can be harmful. If you have psychosis or something like that, or and
Oh yeah, yeah,
a lot of
definitely.
into the stuff. Like I've just there was like a little test with it once where it was just I think it was just a weird experience. I think it was just like someone got high. I played noise. They got scared.
No, really? Sorry, I'm plugging my phone in.
Okay,
Oh, all right.
but yeah, no, it's great that something original from a lot of noise out there because there's just different tastes and textures of noise where I think Full of Hell made some really good noise and stuff which is really good, and then
Oh hell yeah! I got their Merzbow collaboration on vinyl.
anything Merzbow has done, like I've heard a lot of stuff Merzbow, Masonna,
Oh
stuff like that. A lot of
hell yeah!
all that shit has been really like seeping my taste and stuff like that. There's a lot of shit I've been learning about noise wise and artists and stuff because there's just sometimes like you feel like there is like only like a limit of like artists and stuff like that, but there's you just like you keep searching. Sometimes you'll find like some really crazy shit. And when I found about like Hannah Tarash, like I don't that was crazy.
Oh, with the bulldozer shit.
Yeah, whole that whole shit, and I was like,
That's
what other?
fucking crazy.
I feel like there's should be like more musicians like that out there and stuff. Um,
Yeah.
think that your music, if you were literally doing necroviolence and stuff, and you ever played with someone, would you actually accept playing with a person who would like to do a danger music performance?
I'd be down. I could be the maestro.
Like, you're gonna have to like think really honest on that whole experience. But where, where did you see there was like a line that noise has crossed and like noise artist has crossed and that it can be wrong and be used to like very harmfully because there is criminals out there that actually have been put in the news about doing stuff like I think it was like porno noise grind, shit, some art.
Yeah,
Yeah.
some people with not well equipped brains are very influenced by shit that they think that like speaks to them. Like to an extent, I can empathize with that because usually when I make necroviolence tracks, I like first I ground myself in like a really like dark documentary or like shit like that, like watching videos of autopsies and shit.
You like a lot of horror films too? Do you have any horror films that have influenced your art?
Yeah, actually, this movie called Mad God. It came out like either last year or the year before. It's basically this I forget the dude's name, but he was like a puppeteer for like he did like the puppets in Star Wars and shit. I forget his name. It's a really popular name, but basically Mad God, it's all stop motion, and it took them like 20 or 30 years to make, like literally. And like basically the what like the plot of the movie is, it's kind of like up to your interpretation, but I think that the movie takes place in hell. But how that relates to my work is I made a concept album about that movie called Mad God. So like that's how film has influenced my work.
It's been, really hard to tell in a lot of some people's music that, sometimes films can really, influence them and stuff, which is
Yeah.
like, starting to see it come of a wave of people like, really appreciating film culture. And there's like these known soundtrack like Soft and On Babe, like that fucking when that podcast, and just like kind of like learning on
I
about
watched that.
yeah, that was it was a pleasure. Literally, like there's been a lot of stress going on in my background, but nothing too crazy. I think we're otherwise breathing and under still a roof and shit. So yeah. Um. So yeah, do you have a couple projects that you have been starting on, and the Bone is Dark. When did that start?
So with the bonus dark, how it all started is one of the members that's in the bonus dark, Edward Giles, also goes by EJ. He was in Final Solution back in the day. I had this song called Jody's Wrath, and basically what it is are you familiar with Jody Arias?
Um, I don't think so.
She was like a American killer. She like
Okay.
brutally murdered her boyfriend and like claimed self-defense. She was
Okay.
like a little crazy.
Yeah.
But what I did was I sampled news coverage of her crimes, and I also sampled like some of the interrogation tapes. And so I I showed it to EJ, and we were all like, yeah, we should do something that has like a concept behind it. So he came up with dedicated to Christian Brando. It's the bonus arc is me, EJ, David Reed, and Grant Richardson. And basically what we do is we create like soundtracks for like different concepts. Like we have we finish an album that's supposed to be the soundtrack to a documentary called A Certain Kind of Death, and that documentary is about like last responders who come to homes after people have died and shit, and we kind of like put like a death industrial twist onto the documentary.
I don't think I've heard about that documentary, but
Yeah.
there's a lot of things I've been learning lately. So it's good to be open to that.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
but yeah, the bonus dark, yeah. So you guys play is it the same sound what Necroviolence is, or you guys are doing something different?
Uh, basically for the first tape dedicated to Christian Brando, I contributed some synth parts. David Reed contributed some synth parts. EJ contributed some synth parts. And then Grant Richardson he's the producer. He like mashes all of our sounds together. And also I did all the vocals on that album. That dedicated to Christian Brando is basically like what's the word I'm looking for? Like a story or concept about Christian Brando's life. He was like a
Yeah.
he was like a star star in like the 80s or something, and he lived a troubled life and eventually died like kind of miserable. So we made a soundtrack to his misery, I guess.
That's fucking dope. In a way, that's fucking dope. Like, just like I think it's the same kind of like thinking of like how the guy Tony Soprano uh, died,
Yeah.
in the show guy, and like in real life, I forgot his name. Don't cuss at me, anybody, please. But uh, yeah, no. I think I like that. I like the feeling of just like bringing the feeling of like things you've watched and using it and to your full advantage for music and stuff. Um, with your latest project, like which is um, I can't recall right now. Yeah,
I Choose Malice.
I think it's like Dead
Oh, Deadbrain?
Deadbrain. Yeah, is that this
Yeah,
is your
yeah.
um I really I really like the stuff so far. I don't think you've sent me really anything, but it hasn't had you haven't released anything yet. That's true.
There's a CD out for the Dead Brain album. It came out on the Italian label Beaten Raw. It's like it's like a kind of like a niche like underground label for like for people who are into like the more violent and like disgusting aspects of like topics and noise. So that fit right in, I think.
Yeah, definitely. Like like stuff relating to like Faces of Death, Ramondo type.
Oh hell yeah. Yeah. I've sampled Faces of Death before.
I mean, it's as much as it's oversampled, it's still enjoyably
Oh
sampled
hell yeah, hell yeah.
for sure. That's for sure. Um, yeah. So you said you guys you've been doing some tours and stuff. Also, you've been doing tours as Necroviolence and stuff. Uh,
Yeah.
with I've been and I don't know. We'll kind of announce this here in a bit soon that we are trying to set up a show here up in Saskatoon with Necroviolence, Bone Crate, and then we'll see what we can do from there. If anybody's watching from Saskatoon or around the world, yeah, we're gonna try to get some more people out to Canada, come out to Saskatchewan, or we'll try to come out there. We're gonna try to make this thing happen. We also will be selling more merch and stuff like that in the future. When we get to that point, we're gonna be like saving up for tour and everything.
Oh yeah.
So, doing this back and forth because, like, I think it would be really cool to play not just like with you in Canada, but to come out to the States and come play.
Yeah, that that sounds fucking tight.
Definitely for sure. I think it would be a great, next, kind of experience because, like, I think of all of our shows, I want them not to be like you. I don't want them to have anything that like they're gonna expect. They're gonna expect this or they're gonna expect that. So that's why I kind of want to set up these shows and I want to make these like a experience they don't get much.
Right, yeah. But I think it's a cool idea. I'm definitely down.
You've have you toured out of US? Have you played in Canada before?
No, not internationally, but I want to eventually.
Yeah, no, it's getting more easier for like since like COVID happened, it's been getting more easier for musicians and other artists to know to come out of the country to come out to play in Canada and US and everything and stuff. So it's been really good just to see that happening. I'm really happy. And I just can't wait to take advantage of being able to come on tour, go on tour, or something like that, and play some more shows and get more people here, and
Yeah,
figure shit.
I'm going on a West Coast tour this August with Speculum.
Fuck yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
With would you have the tour dates?
Yeah, we got most of the dates, but now Brian from Speculum is trying to get all the shows booked. We have like I think two or three booked for sure so far out of like 7 dates, I think.
I mean, it's probably like yeah, slow process too, but like you've been performing for a while and stuff with like a bunch of these projects and stuff like that. How does it sometimes feel like when you're on tour on the road? How does it feel from being on the road to being at home and just making music? What like what's what's been feeling company?
It's really thrilling. Like I personally love like car rides and shit, like road trips and shit. And we did a little bit of that with Street Rats, like going all across Minnesota that year. Um, yeah, basically what I think I'm gonna get out of it is like a different life experience because I'm a isolated man in a rural town no one has heard of, so I don't have many options or prospects out here. So getting out of this godforsaken place is good in my book.
Yeah, that's I think same thing for the place like Saskatoon, but at the same time, I
Yeah,
the city I do think I want to see at least Canada and maybe the deep part of Saskatchewan, like up around Saskatchewan, could just be like a little more open minded because I think we're going to getting to a point where like if we keep on having history repeating itself, it's just not going to be enjoyable. No one's going to be able to enjoy them, enjoy music. It's just bullshit. It's fucking
yeah, it is.
never even needed and stuff. But yeah, really excited definitely to have this shit figured out. We'll have more stuff like figured out, like I said, in the future. Uh, Everybody go definitely check out my buddy Zach on Bandcamp. You can check out his other projects. Also message him on Instagram. His Carbon Mist Productions. If you see it on here, yes, just yeah. If you're new, you haven't heard of him, give him a follow.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, definitely, and talk noise about or whatever. Um, Maybe just we'll have a couple more things to ask. Maybe just like have a little fun. So
Yeah, yeah.
for horror films, we've been talking about you talk about some documentaries and stuff. Do you have any
Yeah.
basic horror films or horror films people need to hear about? Like, and give me like at least five or three.
You know, to be very honest, I'm not much of a movie guy. Like
Yeah.
I don't like sit down and watch movies. Like my friend Caleb, he's like my horror movie plug. He showed me Irreversible, the French version. He showed me Martyrs. He showed me a Serbian film, shit like that. So like I kind of know what's going on in the horror world, like with that kind of stuff. But yeah, like if I'm being honest, I have like a shitty attention span, so movies are kind of hard sometimes.
That's understandable.
Besides like Star Wars, I'm a unapologetic Star Wars nerd.
That's not bad. That's absolutely not a bad thing ever at all. And having a movie plug, I've never really, I can never get that. But um, yeah, there's a lot of horror movies that are literally trying their best either, or they're actually doing good. And I feel I have like a, I don't know, I believe horror can get better, and even if it,
Yeah, there can be like very good horror movies that actually have like good acting and like good plots and like good villains, you know? It's just like some of it is kind of cheesy sometimes. Like the cheesiness I can't really get over, but like a seriously violent and dark horror film, that's like straight up my alley.
Midsummer was really good. I'm just
Oh yeah,
that
I heard about that one.
if you ever get a chance to watch it, just the score is beautiful. Hacks and Cloak fucking scores the film. Like
Nice.
fucking amazing. Like I'm a huge fan of that the whole score in the movie and everything. It goes along with the mood and shit. Um, but yeah, no, that's definitely understandable. No, I think everybody doesn't have time for a movie sometimes, but it's a good question sometimes to ask. I
Yeah,
just thought,
totally.
yeah, thank you for coming on the show. Uh, I hope to definitely hear from you more in the future, and we'll be announcing the next guest here later on today. And yeah, thank you for coming on the show, and we'll see you very soon.
Of course. Have a good one.